Yeah. Hey everybody, Logan here. Just to let you know, this is not the initial video in which I was going to put up or even just give my opinion on the PlayStation 5 Pro. I didn't think this was going to be. There's a big reason why this video is going up so late in the day. My initial reaction was rather positive about everything I saw with the PlayStation 5 Pro, and then that price hit. And I'm thinking to myself, that's expensive. In this day and age, in this economy, prices for consoles getting more expensive. Usually, mid-cycle refreshes are slightly bit more expensive, or, back in the day, cheaper. Well, that ain't the case anymore. Do I like the power behind it? Yes. And I was actually talking with some people about, just get yourself a PC. A PC with this kind of power is going to cost you a bit more. And when I mean a bit more, you're looking at a minimum about $1,200 or so. So there are people out there saying, just buy a 4070 for $600. You still need the rest of the computer. So if you want something really powerful that can play games, this might be it. But are you willing to shell out in such a terrible economy? $700. This gave me flashbacks of the PlayStation 3 announcement, right? A lot of people it did. Do I think this is a dumb idea? Yeah. $100 more? I could see a lot of people saying yes to that. $200 more? That's a hard sell, Sony. This is a hard sell. Because of that, it also had me think of, well, what Microsoft did with the Xbox Series X. And it just made me go, why? But why? What? Do either of these companies realize what they're doing? With Nintendo sitting here going, looking at what they offer and what Nintendo's currently offering, we know there's no way Nintendo's going to come out of the gate and say $500 for the new Switch. No. Most people are thinking probably around $450 at the highest, but $4. Okay, I could see that. Hey, they might even keep it the same price, that $350 mark, like when the console came out. Wasn't it $350? Yeah. I don't know, man. I really don't know what's going through Sony and Microsoft's head. And I'm not pointing fingers specifically at Sony. I'm not pointing fingers specifically at Microsoft. That's why in this video, after I'm done rambling on about why I think this is kind of stupid, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. I'm going to compare the PS5 Pro and the new Xbox Series X refresh, if you will, and just pick it apart and see why it really isn't worth it, especially in this environment, this console environment, this gaming environment. Let's get into it. First, we're going to take a look here at the PlayStation 5. This comes out from PlayStation Blog, and it covers what we saw this morning in that around 9-minute presentation from Sony. The console doesn't look any different, so people are like, okay, it looks like a PS5 Slim with 3 lines instead of just the space. Okay, I was hoping for more. The leaks we had seen and heard and talked about seemed to be true. Okay, now, before we go any further, we're going to take a look at, well, what's missing? A disk drive. So a lot of people are complaining that it doesn't have a disk drive. Well, if you have a PlayStation 5 Slim, you can, from my understanding, remove the disk drive and just pop it on here if you want to do an upgrade. I'm worried about the plates. I don't know how that's going to work. So there's always that to worry about, but let's get into the specs. Let's go over that a little bit. So if you look down, here's the trailer, but right here, upgraded GPU. With PS5 Pro, we are upgrading to a GPU that's 67% more compute units, that has 67% more compute units than the current PS5 console and 28% faster memory. Overall, this enables up to 45% faster rendering for gameplay, making the experience much smoother. What is it? Okay, thanks for telling us the power. But what GPU is it? Which one are you using specifically, and how is it more powerful? They're just throwing out random numbers and expecting us to believe it, and hopefully we'll buy into it. That bothers me. If they didn't tell us the exact one, it almost makes me think that they're fluffing the numbers. And Sony and Microsoft are both known to do that. Advanced ray tracing. We've added even more powerful ray tracing that provides more dynamic reflection and refraction of light. This allows the rays to be cast at double and at times triple the speeds of the current PS5 console. How? Using what? This was supposed to be like a technical presentation, right? Why didn't they get into more tech? AI-driven upscaling. We're also introducing PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, blah blah blah, word vomit. An AI-driven upscaling that uses a machine learning-based technology to provide super sharp image clarity by adding an extraordinary amount of detail. Yeah, they could just call that whatever they wanted. And yeah, without telling us how they're using it, specifically how they are using it, and what they are using for the AI, it's just word vomit. That's the problem with the majority of this presentation. It just felt like nonsense word vomit. Did it look that much better? No. Some scenes, yes. Some images ran smoother and faster. Okay, cool. At the higher resolution. I like that. But is it worth $200? I really don't think so. Let's continue. So if you look, they go into all the stuff that was announced in the video. Who cares? We don't care about that. That's not what we want. We want to know the PS5 Pro console will be available this holiday at a manufacturer's suggested retail price, MSRP, of $699 US. And you got the other prices for the other regions. It will include a 2 terabyte SSD. Okay. All right. A DualSense wireless controller and a copy of Astro's Playroom pre-installed in every PS5 Pro purchase. I think to justify the price, they should have put in a DualSense Edge. Upgrade it to a DualSense Edge. People go, okay, that really is kind of pro. Once you, that stand's not included either. No disk drive, no stand. DualSense Edge would have made it a pro. That would have made PS5 Pro. People would have went, okay, put in the stand, put in the disk drive, put in a DualSense Edge, and then people would have been like, all right, that's a PS5 Pro. Okay, I could see that. PS5 Pro is available as a diskless console with the option to purchase the currently available disk drive for PS5 separately. PS5 Pro will launch on November 7th, 2024, and will be available at participating retailers and directly from PlayStation at direct.playstation.com. Pre-orders will begin on September 26, 2024. After a lot of thinking, I decided, yeah, I'm going to buy this. Reluctantly, but I'm going to buy it. Why? Because it's channel content. And I know a lot of people have liked some of the other hardware videos I did, especially my Japanese PlayStation. There are people that aren't going to want to buy this, but they are going to want to see more about this console, the unboxing, how it performs, stuff like that, and, my initial reaction to it. So I'm going to do that. Reluctantly, but I'm going to do that. I honestly don't think it's worth the $700, but like I tell everybody, everything I make from my channel goes right back into the channel at this point in time. So the more you guys watch, memberships will help too. Okay, just you don't have to, but I would appreciate that. And that's how I buy these things, and that's what's going to happen with this. Now, with that being said, a lot of people are complaining. So many people were tearing it apart in the chat during the video presentation, and if you checked on X, people are doing the same. Every channel that I follow, from Yellow Flash to Geeks and Gamers to Smash JT, everybody is talking about it. I know they're going to talk about it some more on Side Scrollers, or you name it. Pick a gaming channel, and everybody's talking about it. Beat 'em Ups was like, yeah, in his post, and like, The only one who I think came across a little vanilla was Spawnwave, but he usually doesn't. That's fine. So some people were, yeah, not as nice. I'm just gonna keep it PG here and say I think it's overpriced. I really do, especially since we do not have the technical specs. We only have numbers that they've given us. Now, with that being said, this isn't a hate PlayStation video. This is a, hey, look what Sony's doing. Let's compare it to what Xbox is doing, so I decided to bring this up as well. If we look at the new top-of-the-line Xbox Series X, power your dreams, this Galaxy Black, no, this is the one with the disc. You're looking at an MSRP of $599.99. No extra power, just a larger hard drive and a snazzier paint job. Sony is at least charging $100 more for a larger hard drive and more power. Microsoft, what are you doing? Do you think that people are going to buy into this? Now that the PlayStation 5 Pro is more expensive, you think this is what's going to happen? I doubt it. You know what I think is going to be the big seller this holiday season? Series S. The Xbox Series S. And maybe the base PlayStation 5 Slim model. Maybe the one with the disc. I think those two are going to be the bigger ones. In all honesty, I think Nintendo Switch is still going to sell. Still going to sell. Because it's the price. And right now we're, again, I'm not trying to sound like a broken record, but when the economy is as bad as it is, making new revisions of your hardware more expensive is not going to get people to buy it. We are at a period from when the consoles launched in 2020 to now, the tech behind these machines has significantly gone down in price. Yes, inflation has caused a lot of parts and stuff to go up, but not to the point where it's almost what? For the PlayStation 5 Pro, 50% more of the initial digital PlayStation 5? We're talking, what, 400 to 700? It went up, like seriously, actually that's more. Because if you want to do that, it originally came out at 400, and now it's gone up, not to 5, not to 6, but to 7. That's actually quite a bit more. Sony, and Microsoft is like, hey, our consoles aren't selling. Let's put out a new one that's more expensive. But boss, out the window, you know? That's pretty much what's happening. And guys, if you've seen that meme, you know what I'm talking about. So they're coming out with the all-digital one as well. The white all-digital for $499. All right, $50 cheaper. Smart. I get that. Why would you come out with the all-digital with the same size hard drive? Shouldn't the all-digital one have the larger hard drive? What they should have done is given us a all-digital one with 2 terabytes at the same price as the standard carbon black with this drive. Both $499 gives you the option. Now, if they still wanted to do the 2 terabyte, you want to make it this price? Don't throw in a regular controller with a better paint job. Elite Series 2. Or new enhanced controller that was originally supposed to be coming with these, and now they've changed their mind. That's you want people to think your consoles are pro? You want people to think that it's worth it? Make it worth it. People are jumping to PC because of the prices in consoles, but PC's no cheaper. PC's actually a higher point of entry if you want to play games as well as these consoles. A decent GPU on these levels, you're looking around that $300 to $400 price point for what, like, I think you can still get a 3060 for around that price, but you still have to build the machine, you got to get the RAM and all that other stuff. So yes, it will cost you more than an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5 entry level. It just will. It's no matter what the PC fanboys say, it is what it is. It's just simple economics. But Sony and Microsoft, this isn't the way to do it. This is not the way to get more people to buy, especially when we're so long in the tooth in this generation. These consoles are getting older. It should not be more expensive, especially with such a little difference. PlayStation 5 Pro remains to be seen because we don't have actual specs. We just have vomit coming from Sony, word vomit. That's all it is. There's nothing that people can actually look up in terms of hardware. They just can't. So Sony, Microsoft, this isn't the way to go. This is definitely not the way to go. People are not gonna want to pay. It's a shame. This generation had so much promise ahead of it, coming off the backs of the Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 had solid. They really did have solid franchises, and then this is what we got: a lackluster console lineup for games that are just trash. Look at Concord, Redfall, Starfield, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Look at all this junk. Yeah, there's a few silver lining games to mark that silver lining. Yeah, there was a few really good ones, but honestly, the majority of the stuff are just junk, and that's a big problem when you're trying to push out a console that costs as much as these two do. Microsoft, I think, is the biggest culprit. The biggest culprit when it comes to promising games. Then when they deliver, they're just awful. Like, even stuff that's supposedly coming out, like Perfect Dark and Fable, they look terrible. Perfect Dark looks mediocre at best, and I've really been looking forward to it, especially character design and all these. It's just awful. And if you look further on both of these pages, they're pushing probably one of the biggest flops of the year in Star Wars Outlaws. This is not how you promote your consoles. You don't promote flops. And then Sony jacking up the prices on the DualSense controllers because of what people are calling the Concord tax. Yes, Sony's raising their prices on the controllers and the hardware in specific regions. Yeah, they're doing it to recoup some of the money that they lost on Concord. Concord was the biggest flop in gaming history by none. You know, arguably, by far. But hey, I can go on. And that's another reason this video has gone on so long, because I just built up all this over the last couple of hours. I had to do some things, and while I was doing that, I thought about all this, and so I'll leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Tell me if you're going to buy either one of these consoles or if they can just go to you. Thank you guys so much. God bless you all. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.